some hours mowing for us. Thank you. It looks wonderful. From Revelation chapter 21, beginning with verse 1. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the Holy One, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Then he who was seated at the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. He said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To him who is thirsty I will give drink without cost from the spring of the water of life. He who overcomes will inherit all of this, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts and idolaters and all liars, their place will be in the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death. We're going to leave the Revelation after this Sunday, and some of you may be saying, hooray. The Revelation is difficult, and I've tried to make it as clear as possible that the way he uses the language was a way that the people back then would have understood. Apocalyptic, prophecy, metaphor, symbol, all of these things would have been readily understood by his audience, the seven churches of Asia Minor. But for us, because we do not speak in these terms, we rarely speak in apocalyptic. We rarely speak in metaphor and symbol, and unless you're in a deeper kind of discussion, then you do. But just in general, we don't speak this way. And that's why it's very difficult to understand. Today, I have one objective, and that is to convey the writer's theology of God. The writer does not use the words in, New Jerusalem, images like that as a way of describing God. He says these are the things that God is, simply. And one of the things that comes from this particular part of the Revelation is God is saying, my place is with my people. Now, sometimes we feel that God is a long way off, don't we? There are times when life catches up with us, and because there still is mourning, there still are tears, there still is thirst, all manner of things that makes this life tough sometimes. Even though those things exist, the writer of Revelation is saying God is in the midst of that. All we have to do is present ourselves to God. Well, how do we do that? I think it's in service, but it's not just service in general. It's service that follows a calling you have perceived in your own life from God. God has said to you, I call you to do this, 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 and this. And when we are faithful to this, 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 and this, we find that we not only are in God's midst, but God is in our midst. That's why I think our family here enjoys a kind of presence of God that may not exist in others, simply because everybody understands that to be a family of God is to hear His call on each of us as individuals, and then for each of us to follow the call. I believe that happens here every day, all the time. And that's why we are still that little church that could, not the little church that can't. There's nothing that gets in our way. And that's precisely because we understand God to be in our midst. The writer of the Revelation also says that God is the end. When we are finally called before Him, the writer of the Revelation wants us to understand that it's not just an event that happens. The end happens, and it's God. And it's at that point that God makes all things new. There will be a new creation. And it won't just sort of obliterate this creation and have it go away to be replaced completely. God is going to place the new creation on top of this one. That's why I really believe this, that we are going to meet someday those we love. We are going to meet again friends. We're going to meet again our parents. We're going to meet again those people who in our lives on this earth have given us joy, have helped us, have been supportive of us. All the things that we value in the people who have passed before us, we'll get to thank them for. We'll get to say to them, I really appreciate that time in 1986 where I was having such problems, and all of a sudden you were there for me. You'll get to say it. All of the things that made this life special we'll celebrate, and God will make even that newer. So that existence that does not know tears, that does not know thirst, that does not know grieving, that existence is what we're headed for. And if there's one message of the Revelation, it's precisely that. The people that John was preaching to in Asia Minor 2,000 years ago understood that. And that's why this letter, at its fullness, is to be understood as pastoral. A bishop says to his churches, just wait. Yeah, we've got all kinds of problems. And God is doing all kinds of works. And you are watching this creation change. But at some point, God takes total control. And when God is in control, God is in our midst, and we are in God's midst, and He is our God, and we are His children, and life is good. So however you feel sometimes, maybe you're depressed, maybe you're sad, maybe you're hurting, maybe you're grieving, whatever it is, God's going to take care of that. And that's the message of the revelation. God is in charge now. In the future, God will have changed everything. And we go on with our lives in a new creation, which shows us joy and support and love and all the good things that we have found in this lifetime will be the totality of life in God's kingdom.